Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to try to do here today is to give you a little bit of insight as to what occurred to a few friends of mine that um, went to Australia on March 11th of 2020, and they had three a 3 week round trip. I'm not sure of the airline. I think it was Cebu Pacific, but it could have been another airline. So I'll wait for a few people to get here, and then if you have some questions while I'm doing the live stream, that would be okay. But I'd like to just have a few more people show up before I start. So what I've been doing the last week or so is I've gone into the city a few times to do some insignificant things. We have pretty much free travel here in Bohol. We don't have the same kind of restrictions that they have in other places in regards to going to the city. And we have a great vegetable market, which is located right across the street from the ICM Mall in Tagbilaran. Most of the time for the last 6.5 years that I've been here, and I've been shopping in that vegetable. It's a vegetable, fish, poultry, and fruit market. The stuff comes from the individual islands around the Philippines. The prices are half the price that what you would pay in the ICM Mall. But I will give the ICM Mall credit for they only get the freshest vegetables in the ICM and BQ Mall as well. And then they keep it refrigerated. Now, the fresh vegetable market that is across from the ICM, the vegetables come in fresh sometime early Saturday morning, and they don't keep it refrigerated. So if you go there on a Saturday morning or afternoon, you can get fresh vegetables. But if you go there on Tuesday or Wednesday, those vegetables are from either Saturday morning or Sunday morning. So I suggest you get there early. Well, doesn't look like a lot of people are going to show up, so I'll just give you this information and move on to my next project. So let's do this by the numbers. I'm going to go to my notes. Flying circus. Oh my God. Wow. Welcome to the machine. My old friend. My God, I hope that you're going to start producing some of those Hollywood video clips. Oh, Bruce Davis. Hello, Bruce. Welcome to the machine. Flying circus. Mike, I haven't seen you. I guess it's a long time. I hope you're back. Let's see if you are going to. Okay, that sounds good. I have some ideas. I have some ideas. Believe me, I have some ideas. 7 months. Okay. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Thank you for saying hello. So this is an actual step-by-step process that two friends of mine went through. It ended up costing a friend of mine. The bottom line was about $17,000 for a 3 week trip that he had planned. And if anybody has any questions, just feel free to ask. So I won't give you their names, but I will give you the ages. The lady is in her late 40s, and the man is a little bit older. He's a little older than 65. So there were complications when he was in Australia with him moving around. And I haven't gotten every detail, but I did get the basics. So on March 11th, my friends left, said they'd be back in a few weeks. They had a 3 week round trip pass to go from the Philippines to Australia. And I'm not going to tell you what airport they landed in, but It was a round trip ticket for two people. They got a special. They ordered it a year in advance. It was supposed to be $950 US, and that's what the ticket cost. $950 US for two people, round trip from the Philippines to Australia and back 3 weeks later. So they left on March 11th, and somewhere thereafter, flights were canceled. All inbound flights from everywhere were canceled. So at which point, where they were going to stay, they were at for approximately most of March, April, May, June, and part of July. So a little over 4 months. And the estimated cost of those 4 months between foods and housing was approximately $10,000 US, because that's what it cost them. So they were also, when they got back, I said, well, what did you do when you were in Australia? Did you go see the ice sheets, or did you go to the reef, or did you go swimming or fishing? They were confined to the home they lived in, except to go out. One person could leave the house to go buy food for the day, not a week's worth of groceries. So they had that worked out with the passes, what house you were in or what housing institution you were in would give the information to the local authorities, and then they would allow to buy, foods for a day, maybe 2 days, who knows. So the rules in Australia are very strict. And considering that he's older than 65, they got even more strict with that. So most of the shopping was done by a third party. So they did get tickets that were scheduled to be home, scheduled to leave Australia middle of July. Let's just say the 15th. I didn't get every detail to the day. But let's say they were supposed to leave on July 15th. And they went 3 hours to the airport, and then the flight was canceled. So they had to go back and get more accommodations, unpack, whatever. So before another scheduled flight out of Australia was going to take place, was 2 more weeks. Hello, Graham. Welcome to the machine. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see what Graham has to say. Now is the worst time to travel. I would compare it to trying to travel during a world war. I mean, in relation to the difficulties and cost of the inconvenience. Yeah, that's true. Wait till you see. Well, I'm going to go through this by the numbers. Welcome, Steve 25901. This is one of my rare live appearances where I'm going to do an actual normal live stream. How long that lasts, because over there, you can't see it. Mr. Obama and Digger One, they've been fighting. And Mr. Obama has passed judgment on Digger One, and some things are going to happen to Digger One in one of my next upcoming shows. So July 15th's flight was canceled. So we're going to go with an August 1st departure date from Australia to Manila. Now, that flight took place, and they were supposed to stay. This was the information they got, because they did all their medical stuff in Australia before they got on the plane, before they went to the airport the first time. They also had to have medical passes. Then when the flight was canceled, they had to do the medical passes again for the August 1st flight. So the August 1st flight took off, and being that they had a medical pass, what was told to them, the same thing that was told to me for Warren, is there'd be a 2 to 3 or 5 day stay in Manila in quarantine. But when they got to Manila, they went into the quarantine, and they didn't they didn't have any complications medical wise. However, for various reasons, unbeknownst to them, they had to stay in quarantine for 17 days. And the cost of that quarantine in Manila was approximately 2,500 pesos per day with meals. So they stayed in Manila for 17 days. Then, when that quarantine was over, they went back to the airport with their medical pass. And the flight that they were going to get on was canceled indefinitely. No one knew when the next flight was going to take place. So we're up to, like, say, August 17th now. So they had to leave the airport and go get a hotel, a standard hotel. And that was about $70 a day. And then on, what is today's date? Then when the flight was rescheduled to come back, they got back yesterday, so the 15th. So they had to stay in the hotel for about 12 days. So then on September 1st, they flew into Bohol. Now, I'm not sure if they were placed in the Henan Resort, which is a 5-star hotel, or they chose the Henan Resort because it's local, and the Henan is world famous for their fantastic foods. So I didn't get that detail, but I will tell you what it costs to stay at the Henan for 2 people, and then I'll describe the food they got, which was acceptable, but not the 5-star quality Henan food. And you can't expect that for what they paid. But the cost of the Henan Resort for quarantine was 4,000 pesos per day. That's $80 a day. It was 3,000 pesos a day for the 2 people and 1,000 additional pesos per day for the food. So that's not a lot of money. When you break it down into 6 meals, that's only 150 pesos per meal. But I will tell you that it was not the Henan directly off the Henan menu. It was a quarantine menu. You could upgrade your foods and buy anything you wanted from the Henan, but you couldn't. But the 1,000 pesos a day was for 3 standard meals, livable, but not the Henan quality. So when I spoke with them about getting Warren here, they said, yes, sir, we will be giving you Henan quality foods. And I'm sure the foods were quality. They just weren't, it wasn't like a restaurant menu with a half pounder or a quarter pounder cheeseburger. It was just a standard, some fried fish and some rice and vegetables. And that's what they did. So they had to stay there. Well, you're not allowed out of the hotel room once you get into quarantine at all. The room door is closed, and the only time that door is going to open again is when you leave quarantine or for your food cart to go in and out of the room. Other than that, you can't walk around the resort. You couldn't walk around in Manila either. You're not allowed out of the room at all. I mean, if you go out of the room and they catch you out of the room, your quarantine starts again at 0 days. So the food there was acceptable, edible, clean and fresh, but not hot meals. The breakfasts were prepared hours before they were served, and the lunch and the dinner was the same way. They were good foods, but not hot foods. So that was what they went through. So all told, they figured on spending about $4,000 or $5,000 on their trip to Australia for 3 weeks. I think at the end of the day, it was $17,000 in US dollars. And when they got back, their internet is off completely, and Globe has this weird thing you have to do. If your internet gets shut off for failure to pay a bill, because they didn't know when they'd be back, you have to go into the Globe store, and I don't know if the contract has to be renewed, but you have to be there in person at the Globe store in the ICM Mall on the second floor. And you would get to the Globe store, in case anybody wants to know where that is. You walk in the front entrance of ICM and you go up the first escalator that you see. And when you get off the escalator, you're about 15 feet from the Globe store in the ICM Mall. Immediately next to the Globe store is Thinking Tools. If you want to buy computer products, that's probably the best place in Bohol to buy any computer product or gadget, because they have 3 really good service technicians on duty at all times. The prices are really reasonable to fix things, and if they sell it to you, they give you great service there. So just wanted to plug them a little bit. Hey Don, if you get to see this video, how you doing? So that's my live stream. I really don't have much else to say about that. I'm going to go back to, I'm done with my notes. Yep, I'm done with my notes. And then I'll go back to the live stream if anybody has a question. All right, we need to get rid of that. Okay. Okay, I guess I'm on my own here. Heidelstraws, Carl, you're not welcome here, and I'm just trying to figure out how to remove you together. Okay, so, all right, so he's on timeout for now, but if I have another wrench and you see him come back, knock him out. I don't want him on my channel. All right, so let's go back up to the comments. Dave in the Philippines. I'd like to go back to Australia for a couple of months, but can't yet. Everything is not worth the hassle. Steve, that's right, Steve. And there was a lot of stress on the man at his age. Totally uncalled for. Because his legal wife is Filipina. And they really put him through the ropes, I'll tell you that. And that was requesting a flight every day since the lockdown started. It still took them 4.5 months. No, Graham, the expensive tickets, Graham says, even if you pay for an expensive ticket, there is no assurance of getting a seat on the plane. I know a guy that tried twice. He purchased tickets to Oz and was sent away from the airport twice. Same thing. Louis Pagan Ponce. Hey, Fazio. Hope all is well. Yes, it is. Dude, for a man your age, your hair grows pretty damn long and quick. I guess I'm not blessed with those genes. Actually, yeah, this is since the beginning of the lockdown. But if you'll notice, Louis, if you will notice, if I pull my hair back like this, if you'll notice right here, it's since high school, my hair's gone back a solid, I'm thinking at least 1/4 of an inch, maybe 5/16 of an inch since high school. So I figure in about 200 years, I'll be bald. Thank you for noticing. Yeah, my hair, and actually this is the real color of my hair. This is, it's salt and pepper. I got to tell you that much. And I remember when I first got my first gray hair when I was about 35 years old, I said, maybe I'll just pull these out. But didn't work. Now, if I pull them out, I would be bald. Okay, so we're going to have to get Heidel Strauss-Cog out of here if he comes back. Let's see. I don't know why you troll everybody's channel, dude, or woman, whatever it is that you are, but you need to disappear and hide user. Let's see. Hide user report. Remove. No, not timeout. No. I don't know how that works. I'm not real sure. I think I would have to go to your channel to block you. Well, anyway, don't come back. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get this guy out of here. Hide user on this channel. Remove. All right. Remove. I got that, Dennis. Thank you. Okay. What a piece of work that guy is. I wonder who that is. It's an amazing thing that these people don't have anything better to do. Okay, so let's copy that. Okay, what we're going to do with you, Heidel, is I'm going to copy all those comments that you made before I remove them all, and then this way I will give those comments to my friend and partner Warren, and then we'll see what Warren wants to do with that. Okay. I don't know who you are. Let's just put you on another timeout. Hard user put user in timeout. So I did copy all your comments, Heidel, and when I see Warren, I'll pass those on to him. He had asked me to do that. That's why you're even still here. Okay. So we have one more. Okay, that's not that important. Probably is somebody that has no life. So if they've taken up 5 minutes of my time, so I guess I don't have a wrench here. The only way to get actually is to go to that channel. And if I go to the channel to hide him, let's try it. Copy his name. And then we're going to go to his channel, and hopefully we'll get there before he comes back. Stop, Tommy. Stop. Go there. I'm not real sure how to do all this stuff, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna go to the Mr. Heidel Strauss-Cog's channel, if he even has a channel. Of course, we'll know who it is. I think I got it. Right here. What icon is he using? No icon. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll just go to this one. No, that's not him. Oh, boy. Okay, we'll just have to look. He doesn't even have a channel, this guy. Well, his channel is hidden. It's an amazing thing. We did see what you were up to on your channel. You were into all kinds of weird stuff. Boy, I'll tell you that. And here's a video with you. I gotta tell you, dude. Heidel. That's right. There we go. So you have your channel hidden, it looks like. Okay. All right. I'll go back to the live stream and I'll just keep an eye on his comments. Okay, so what we have for an upcoming show is, well, Mr. Obama and Digger One, they've been fighting. So I just want to give you an update on that. I'm going to end this live stream in a few minutes. I have somebody coming over in a few minutes. So Mr. Obama and Digger, come on over here, Mr. Obama. Yo, Michael Fazio. So what do you want to say, Mr. Obama? Well, I decided I'm going to pass judgment on Digger One because I had him at the White House for dinner and he dug up the front lawn. I took the cuffs off for like 45 minutes so he could eat dinner, and he said he was going to go use the restroom. And when I looked outside, the whole lawn where I do the lawn ceremony things, it was all dug up. But you're not in the White House anymore. I mean, where I am now, on the ocean, dug up the backyard. Okay, so let's let Digger One defend himself. Digger, come on over here. What was that for? Good faith. It was a good faith bop. He hit you with the bippy. So, Digger, what do you want to say for yourself? Did you dig up Mr. Obama's backyard? Yeah, dug a big hole in his backyard. And did he like it? No. So, Mr. Obama, you should have never took the handcuffs off of Digger One. I know. I don't listen to you, Mr. Fazio. Okay, so what are you going to do to Digger One? Well, first he's going to get sentenced next week in the courts. The courts will be bringing Digger in. We're going to expedite the sentencing for Digger One for digging up my backyard, and then we'll know what to do with him. Well, Mr. Obama, what are the possibilities? Well, one, he has to pay for restitution of the holes in the backyard. Number one, that has to be done. He dug a hole, and we had to have the lawn guy come in and do the lawn, and got to do the lawn back the way it was with Kentucky bluegrass. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Digger, do you agree to that? Yeah, I'm okay with that, Rabbi. Okay, so what else, Mr. Bond? Possibility exists there'll be a fine. How much could the fine be? For digging up properties from ex-presidents, about $100,000. Digger, did you hear that? I'm going to be digging a big hole. So, and is there, are you serious, Mr. Obama? You, Digger One, could owe you $100,000? Not me, the landscaping company. You ought to see the mess he left in the backyard. And then are there any other possibilities? Oh yeah. Could have, we got to stop him from digging. Everywhere he goes, he's digging holes. He was at the university digging holes, and he went to college in America all over digging holes, and he dug up all the football fields digging holes. Well, how will we fix that, Mr. Obama? Quiet. Well, we were thinking of electroshock therapy for Digger One. Whoa. So when is this all going to take place? When is all this going to take place, Mr. Obama? Soon. We have to call in some experts, and they have to do a massive study to see if electroshock therapy will work and how many volts. What do you mean, how many volts? Depends on Digger's attributes of his brain trust. Okay, Mr. Obama. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you down, and I will think about. Digger, do you want to say something? I don't want electroshock therapy. Okay, so Okay, we're gonna copy Mr. Heidel Strasberg's comment down. It's hidden from the rest of you guys. Not a very nice man, I'll tell you that. And I hope this works out well for you, leaving all of these comments on my page, because I got a feeling it's not going to work out so well. Okay, so I'm gonna also, not aside from copying. I don't think this is a good thing that you're doing, Heidel. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just telling you that that's what I think. And usually okay, we're going to push this button here, and we'll go back over here. Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't think those are nice comments, Heidel. I don't know who you are, and you're hidden from the channel, so that's a good thing, but I can see your comments, and I really don't appreciate that much. Okay. Okay, well, whoever that is, I guess I could record those comments, huh? I wonder if I could do that. Let's see. I'll report them later. Okay, they're hidden for now. That's all that's really important. So, does anybody have any questions about travel? Because I will tell you that if you're coming back to Bohol, there are less expensive restaurants. Well, when I was going to bring Warren here, the price of the Henin was 3,000 pesos per day with food. So I don't think the price has gone up at all. I think the price could, because that was one person. So for the second person, 4,000 pesos per day, an extra 1,000 pesos per day for the second person. Sounds reasonable. I don't know. I know that that's expensive. So, but what I would say is that altogether there were 14 and 17. That's 28. That's 31 days in quarantine. Now you got to also figure you have to travel back and forth from the airport to the hotel. I don't know how that works out. I don't know how, if the hotels pick you up. I didn't ask them that question. So, this guy, unbelievable. Okay. Thank you, Scott. I'm going to. Thank you very much, Scott. Let's see. We're going to. Well, imagine being that twisted. Heidel, you're a very disturbed human being. I may do shows that are a little bit off kilter, but you, my friend, are a disturbed, very disturbed human being. Okay, so, I don't think this is going to work out well for you. I really, the only reason why I even left these comments on are so Warren requested that these comments stay up. Well, he requested copies of your comments. So, without being able to go to your channel and block you directly, I will tell you that this is not going to work out well for you. I have a feeling I know what Warren is going to do with these comments, but you just keep making them. You just keep making them. That's good. Good on you. You are just Digger. Digger might not even be able to dig a hole deep enough to put you in when the time comes. I got to tell you, these comments are might be used against you. I'm copying them down. Huh? Okay. Now we don't know who you are, so, and there's probably no way of really finding out. So anyway, we'll get back to the live stream now. Taking up enough of my time. Yes, we are live. Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson, Did you like my new idea where I'm going to give Mr. Obama full reign to modify Digger 1? Mr. Obama's going to put Digger 1 in a court system next week, and there's going to be judgment passed on Digger 1, and because Digger got loose and dug up Mr. Obama's Martha Vineyard home, wherever he lives on the water there, and all the universities and all the other places that he stayed, Digger 1 is digging holes for himself. So we're going to have Mr. Obama give him 3 options. He's going to have to pay restitution of about $100,000 for the holes he dug in Mr. Obama's lawn, because he dug up the sprinkler systems and the alarm systems and stuff like that. And also, Mr. Obama said something about putting him into a psychiatric ward and possibly electroshock therapy. So we might have a live show with Mr. Obama passing judgment, and then we might have a doctor come in next week and do electroshock therapy live on air to Digger 1. But of course, we're going to have to get something that resembles bolts, because the pads won't stick to the cloth Digger 1. But if we put a couple of bolts in the side of Digger 1's neck on each side, we might be able to juice him up a little bit. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Like a mountain of weathered granite, unbending. Scott Del Fuego is wordsmithing. Thank you, Scott. Like a mountain of weathered granite, unbending and immovable, Fazio stands tall and strong. Like the relentless force of a moving glacier, Fazio will grind and force all in front of him to his will. Thank you, Scott Del Fuego. Wow, we have trolls today. Boy, I got to tell you, I don't know, William Jenkins. Much love. But that's what I do remember your name. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see how that works out. Slowly, barely measurable, but with force that cannot be resisted, Fazio will eventually change the world. And what we're going to do is we're going to have incremental changes. I am waiting right now. Oh. Wow, Heidel came back as a different. Wow, we'll have to hide Mr. Heidel. Again, thank you. Thank you, Andrew. We have Super Chat. He likes the idea. Mr. Obama. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thank you, Jack Thompson. Salamat. Jack, I explained the new concept to Jack in its entirety. So I'm not real sure. What I'm thinking about is, wait, Digger, come on over here. Thank you, Jack. They're both thanking you. Digger, be nice to Mr. Obama. He just made me Super Chat. Digger, you want to say something? Obama, you want to say something to Digger 1? What was that for, Digger? It was a preemptive strike on Mr. Obama. He was about to lie about something. Okay, so Digger, let's say, Mr. Obama, you go over there. I'll go over there. Put me down. Okay, so here, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to time out Mr. Obama. I'm going to time him out. I'm going to put Mr. Obama into, we got to move some stuff around here. A little crowded in here. I'm going to put Mr. Obama into this stainless steel pot over here. Mr. Obama, you go inside over here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Mr. Obama. You go into the, what a coincidence. The pot is already charred. It's a black pot. Black pots matter, baby. You get into the pot, Mr. No, no, Mr. Obama, in your pot. There you go. Good, good boy. Okay, so he's a good Obama. And now we have Digger One is coming on. Oh my God. Well, we have. I don't know. I remember you from a long time ago, William Jenkins. I guess you could be kidding. Just try to keep it. You know, we have a. No, William Jenkins is, if that's the real, I'm sure that's the real William Jenkins. He's been a long term friend on YouTube, many years. Yes, okay. We just have, because of all the trolls, people believe um, I have a little bit too strict on my rules about trolls. So I have a new rule. My new rule is I don't want to deal with people that are, number one, if they're talking about me on another channel in a negative way and I see them, I don't mention anything on the other channel. But when they come here, I just block them, or I block them from their channel. Number two, troll accounts, we're just not going to spend a lot of time with that. I only did that for Heidel Strauss as a favor to my friend and partner, Warren H. He had asked me specifically if any more comments came in from Heidel to record them. And I saw Heidel on a couple of different places round the clock, around the world, different areas. Not going to be pretty. So we have to thank Jack Thompson, Salamat. So Jack, thank you. Yes, that's correct, Scott. Show the love, baby. Salamat, Jack. Okay, so Digger is facing penalties of up to $100,000 in next week's show for digging up Mr. Obama's back and lawn between his house and the ocean. Digger One is also going to be put up to a jury of his peers and face consequences from Mr. Obama, and he is going to recommend sentencing. Thank you, Jack Thompson. And also, in that sentencing procedure, what's going to happen is Digger One, we're going to explain the procedure to get Digger One from the Philippines to America. How the procedure takes place, who's coming to escort Digger One, and when Digger One gets to the United States, Mr. Obama is going to highly recommend a psychiatric ward and possibly electroshock therapy to stop Digger One from digging holes everywhere he goes. So that's next week's show. I'm working on the show notes as we speak. Digger, you've been a very, very bad digger. When I get updates from time to time. That's what's happening. Digger One could be facing up to $100,000 fine, which does not include two Secret Service agents coming from Mr. Obama's abode in America, Martha Vineyard, coming to the Philippines to personally pick up Digger One and then bring Digger One back to America. When that procedure is set in stone, I will let you guys know. And Digger One will be, of course, the last to know. This way, he won't dig a hole back down to the top of the bottom of the bottom of the top of the flat earth. Because this guy could dig. He's digging holes everywhere. He's digging and digging and digging and digging. And he was digging yesterday. He was digging and digging and digging here in the Philippines. So what I did was I took him out into the backyard and I told him I need one more post hole dug in the coral over there. And in just a matter of hours, Digger had a whole 8 foot by 8 foot hole in the backyard, 8 feet wide, 8 feet in breadth, and 7.5 feet down into solid coral. And you imagine what you could put in there. You could put the 3/4 inch rebar is going to be made in a U shape like that. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in 4 or 5 inches of concrete in the hole, and that'll give me a level surface. And I'm going to put rebar up from the concrete bent in U channels. But that when the time comes to put the concrete in the hole. And then I'm going to put the columns I'll prefab and put the columns on top of a level surface. I want to work from a level surface. So Digger did come in handy, but Digger may not be around for a very long time. Depends on a couple of things. It depends on Mr. Obama's recommendation to bring Digger 1 to stand trial for digging holes in his backyard, what the fines and or penalties, if any, are going to be, and whether or not Digger 1 is going to get put into a psychiatric research center and possibly electroshock therapy. So what I tried to do was stick like a sticker on here, like those little sticky things, but they don't stick to his head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some bolts and put bolts on either side of his neck like that. You know the Mary Shelley story where they put the bolts in the guy's neck? Yeah, well, Digger 1 is going to get the bolts in his neck so that it gives him a good goosing, electrical goosing from side to side, right through the middle. So I got to get a bolt system and bolt it on to Digger 1. It's going to be a little bit of a, and I got cables and jumpy cables ready to do this thing. I just got to put that stuff together because Digger, you're on Mr. Obama's tisk list, Miss Digger 1. You and Mr. Obama, you should have made up a long time ago. And then you smacking Obama with your bippy, that doesn't help. And where you going, Digger? I'm going to go now. No, you ain't digging. Look, he's all ready to dig. You know he's ready to dig when he got the anti-gravity boots on that stick to the dirt. The anti-gravity. These boots allow him to stick to any surface, even on the bottom of the top of the flat earth. So, Digger, we see super chat, baby. Yeah, baby, we're going to bang that pot. Message retracted. William is a real account, has been around for years. Forget about it, says Dennis Adam. Love, baby. This is actually a baby alive doll. And the price of this doll, I got it on sale for half price, but the original price was $36. I mean, now that's almost 2,000 pesos. That's a lot of money for a doll in the Philippines. Let me tell you a little story. Before I walked out of the ICM mall with this doll, the guard that at the entrance to the department store that I bought the doll in, he was standing there with 2 or 3 people that worked in the store. One of them asked me if she could have the doll to give to her child. So this is standard. And I want to tell you something else that's standing opera. I'm going to give you a little information about living here in the Philippines. Okay, so I bought the doll and I had my sneakers, and somebody at the the entrance to the department store asked me for the doll. The guard at the mall on the way out of ICM, one of those guards asked me for the doll. Well, I didn't even know Baby Alive existed, but apparently these people do. And on the way home, I was asked 2 more times before I got back to the BQ Mall for my tricycle for the doll. So 4 people total asked me for the doll. So I want to give you another piece of information about living here in the Philippines before you decide to move here, if you decide to move here. How do I say this without offending somebody? Not that I want it to be offensive. I just like, oh, okay, so here, I'll give you a piece of information. Okay, so a few weeks ago, August 28th to be exact, that was our fiesta here in Bohol. So getting from the city with supplies, I went out and spent, well, as you well know, if you're a member of my Patreon account or friend of mine on Patreon, I went out and spent about $300 on foods, not just for myself, but there was going to be a gathering for a special event aside from the fiesta, where all of the people in the neighborhood, food is passed out. So now I didn't directly give money for that or foods for that, but the family that does that procedure, they hand out food, to 1 bag of food to every man, woman, and child in the neighborhood. So I just bought. Now the foods I bought were not for that process. Some of them were, but most of it was stuff like coffee and sugar, a bottle of what is the name of that? I forgot the name of some sort of a seasoning, some not for the party. This is like personal stuff. And then naturally, I bought some ampalaya. I was on sale for 20 pesos, so I gave them a bunch of that. But during the week before the fiesta, that was not for the fiesta, that was for another party, a separate party. So during the week before the fiesta, the people here expect you as a foreigner to give them stuff for free. And that's the way it's always been. And I don't give a lot. But I will give a small amount of stuff to several people for several days. So some of the things, like when I bought many kilos of ampalaya twice, I gave that out because that's something they don't get a lot of. And then I bought just a few bottles of rum for them, and only a few people got a bottle every 3 days. 3 days before the fiesta and then on the fiesta day. Candy for the children, that's pretty standard. So, but after the fiesta, they still expect you to give every day. So when you stop to say hello to them, they will kind of like, they're not surrounding you to do you harm, but they will stand in front of you, like, and say, if you have, like, my backpack is full of food and I have a bag on my shoulder, they don't even know what's in the backpack or the bag of food, but they'll say, give me one, just give me one, just one. They don't know what's in there. Now, if they saw loaves of bread, that was for the party, the second party. And they will ask you for a loaf of bread. Now, they don't get bread that often, so that's a treat for them, but that was specifically meant for something else. But they will ask you. Now, if you had, let's say you had 2,000 pesos worth of foods in your gear bag, and you give to one person, they want everybody wants one. If you gave it all and you said, but what about me? What about me? You go buy more. They will tell you, you go buy more. You buy more. You're rich. So this is standard. So that's interesting in and of itself. But I have a story to tell you that's a true story. So last week, the construction company that I did the video of, those guys were just fantastic men. Every one of them were laughing and smiling. And I made another video that I haven't posted about that company. And they were just a bunch of happy workers. In fact, I put that in the title. So I left that because all the vegetables that I wanted I wasn't able to get at that market. So I had to go to another market down the road. And down the road, there was a crew of, it was either 18 or 19 full-grown men. And they were doing a high-pressure water. Okay, now, there's a lot of videos I have of a lot of different equipment. But the one video I don't have of one particular piece of equipment is that piece of equipment you see on the side of the road that they, Digger, you go over there. No, it's a digging store. Okay, you stay. It's about digging a trench. So there's a piece of equipment. It cuts the pipe, the left pipe and the right pipe, whatever, when they put it together. And then it takes two pieces of pipe and puts them together like this, and then melts them. It's called melding, melding, melding. It melds them together. It's welding, but it's plastic welding. So there's the machine that does this, and it does this. There's a separate high energy amplifier that causes whatever it is that heats up in the machine to get hot. So they take the current directly from a light pole, or they have a generator in some cases. And then that current goes into some sort of transformer, and the transformer turns it into heat, and then the machine melds the pipes together. So I stopped. Now it's kilometers away from the market where I was in, because it's 9 kilometers to where I was to where I came from. So these are different construction crews. So on the way there to the market, I stopped in and bought, where I went and bought the vegetables and made the video of the construction crew. The men said, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" Now I thought they knew me. So I said, I'll catch you, Balatad. I will catch you on the way back. Balatad Hinai. So they knew I was coming back. So on the way back, they flagged me down. They literally flagged me down in the street. And I stopped, and there was 18 or 19 men, and it was next to a like a restaurant, a Filipino restaurant. And they had a trench in the ground about 30 inches deep, and the men were in the trench in flip-flops, but there was 30 inches of water in the trench. So they're working in flip-flops in the trench to lay this pipe. And the machine is there. So I said to the general crew, "I'm going to make a video, okay?" And they said, "No video, no video." I said, "Okay." I didn't make a video. And then the man directly in front of me, like straight ahead of me, "You buy me snacks. You buy snacks." And with that, I feel a hand on my shoulder. Now, this is how it's done here. The person selling you the snacks, I don't know why they do it, but they walk up from behind you, left or right. It's just the way they sell stuff to you when they know you don't want it. So, and I saw the person coming with the bags from down the street, but I didn't think she was going to stop. But when that man said, "You buy me snacks, you buy snacks," he didn't mean me buy him a snack. He meant me buy everybody that was there a snack. So there were 18 or 19 people, and then there might have been another 14 or 15 people around in the area. So that would be about 400 pesos or $8. So the girl, when she was very nice, she said, "You buy snacks, everybody, you buy snacks." She could sell her whole bag of stuff. So I said, well, I'll buy snacks if you let me make a video of that machine working, because that's what I stopped for. Well, we're not going to use the machine today. So I said, well, you're here already a month. I'll come back on Monday, buy everybody snacks, not a problem. No, you buy today. Now we have a little bit of a conflict. I'm only there. I wasn't there 4 minutes. You buy everybody snacks today. Everybody. So the 19 men, and this happens, this is the way it happens. If you say you'll buy snacks for 10 people, 10 more people will come. Now, you don't know these people. I don't know them. They don't know me. But as soon as you agree to buy snacks, people come from everywhere. Now, it's not just adults. It's children. People will come out of the restaurant that was there. And it's the same thing when you give out candy or you give out anything. People will come from every direction. So I said to the man in charge, I'll come back Monday morning. No, you buy today. You buy today and you buy Monday. We're done. So I says, all right, I'm going to go now. When I'll come back. I didn't get there yesterday, but when I do go back, I'll buy snacks for everybody. But the point I'm trying to make is that I'm there 4 minutes, and they want me to buy snacks for 30 people I've never seen before. Which is okay, but let me make a video of the machine. No, we're not going to use the machine today. So I'll come back when you're using the machine. It's there every day, and I take a bike ride every day. So it's not like I don't see them, but after the fiesta, to digress back, after the fiesta, no matter where I go, doesn't matter where I am, everybody wants still what I gave them before the fiesta. So one particular man wants rum. Another guy wants cigarettes. The women want vegetables and candy. And they don't want just one candy. They want candy, 2 pieces of candy for each person. And then if they have a family, they want 2 pieces of candy for each person in the family. Now, typically what I used to do is I would just drop off a bag of candy to whatever houses I dropped off the candy to. And so, but they still want that. And that's what you should know when you come to the Philippines. If you give to people that you know for the rest of the time that you're in that area or you know them, they expect you to give the same amount again and again and again and again. It's an amazing thing. So now they understand that the next time that there'll be foods and cigarettes and rum will be Christmas time. Because it wouldn't matter if you gave out, I give this as an example. If you gave out, say, 30,000 pesos in 8 months, which is what I did when I first moved here. Clothes, I gave them clothes from America, sneakers that I wasn't going to wear that didn't fit anymore, old sneakers. And when I asked for a favor back in return, the favor would have taken 30 seconds for 2 men to help me drag a piece of wood. These people got snacks, they got food, they got rum, they got cigarettes, they got pants, they got sneakers, they got flip-flops. For 5.5 months they were on a job. So when I asked 2 men to help me drag a piece of wood about 60 feet, because there were 3 of us dragging the wood, and I needed a couple more men to get the wood to where I wanted it uphill. Those 2 men wanted 50 pesos each to help me drag the wood for 30 seconds. Now, they're on a job getting paid. And for 5.5 months, every day I gave them something, rum, cigarettes, candy, clothes, shoes, flip-flops. Every day I gave them something. But now I asked for one favor from two men, and one of the men was a man I gave a pair of 800 peso sneakers to that just didn't fit. I bought them and they didn't fit, but they were brand new Nike sneakers. They just didn't they hurt the arches in my foot. That guy wanted 50 pesos to help me for about 30 seconds. So it doesn't matter how much you give when you're in the Philippines, you can expect to keep on giving forever and with no thought of anything in return. And that's just the way it is. Now, I won't tell you that story, but this is what you can expect when you come here. All right, I'll give you another for instance. This is true now. Okay, so now I have 400 pieces of candy, and nobody gets candy for 2 weeks. Because last week, last week I did some tree trimming on my property. It got overgrown, and I just cut all those trees out. I used that special saw I built, and I had been asked by the neighbors to cut some other trees down with the saw, being that it worked so well. And it was beneficial to everybody. The neighbors needed it for firewood. It doesn't do me any good. It only took me a few minutes. So at the end of the day, that day, I gave ampalaya to those people in the morning. And the day before, I gave the men that were there together at that particular location a bottle of rum. It was the last bottle I had. It was after the fiesta, and it was separate from the fiesta. And they had offered me lunch, fried fish, lunch, rice, and tuba. But I had just eaten, so I wasn't hungry. So I said, you know what? I'll give them the last bottle of the rum that I bought for the fiesta. So I give it to them the day before. That day, these are all true stories. Now, that day, when I cut down the tree so that the neighbor would have firewood, I lopped it up, but also the goats would have that particular type of tree. What's the name? It begins with a mole something. That malunggay. The malunggay tree is what the goats love. They love that tree. So there was a malunggay tree that I cut down. So not only did I feed the goats, but I got the wood cut for the lady, and the place looks a little bit neater. Well, then I had other branches that I took down, big branches. So I said to the men now that I just gave the rum to the day before, I said, you guys want to come over and help me, cut these limbs off? How much you give? How much I give what? How many pesos? I said, never mind. And I just went and got a chainsaw and just lopped everything up. And I grabbed the shrubs. And but I had originally asked them to help me get everything together. They don't want to do anything for free. Even no matter what you give them, they still want more. And that's just the way it is living in the Philippines. It doesn't matter how much generosity that you give. It would have took the six men that were there. It would have took us all 7 of us together. It would have took 4 minutes to clean up the whole place at best. They all wanted pesos. I said, never mind. I'll do it myself. So it took me about 30 minutes. This is what you can expect when you come to the Philippines if you interact with the locals. If you don't interact with the locals, they're okay with that too. But it's hard to maintain a balance in the Philippines with the locals. If you say hello to them and they say, come here, say hello, and they give you like a soda, they want to borrow money or money for a load. They want that. That's why they're inviting you to the house 95% of the time. So you should get used to that and learn to just say hello and be friendly with everybody and not stop. because as soon as you stop, somebody's going to ask you for something. Like, for instance, Mr. Obama. Where's Mr. Obama? Come on over here, Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama, he wants. Come on, look at Mr. Obama. He's in. I got him in the pot, the black pot. Mr. Obama, I got it. Come on out of here, Mister. Come on out. I'm out, Rabbi. Okay, Mr. Obama. He wants something too. He wants restitution from Digger One for digging holes in his backyard, right, Mr. Obama? That's right, Rabbi. Digger One owes me about $100,000 restitution for the holes he dug in my backyard between my house and the ocean. Digger One, you got something to say about that? What he hitting? Digger One is hitting him with the bippy boppers. He's bippy bapping Mr. Obama. Digger, what's the diaper for? Oh, that's in case Mr. Obama looks at me and I get afraid. I'm going to give it the diaper. I'm going to put the diaper on in case I pee my pants when Mr. Obama gives me the evil eye. So the diaper is for you? Yeah. In case Mr. Obama gives me the evil eye, I put the diaper on in case I have an accident. What would that look like, Digger One? Well, right now it looks like this. He's staring at me, right? Yeah. And look. Nothing. Don't need the diaper. So you're not afraid of Mr. Obama? Not one bit. Not one bit. Look, watch. Look, no pee. No wetness. Still dry, Mr. Obama. Still dry, Mr. Obama. No, I give him the evil eye. He'll be using that diaper before the day is up. Next week he goes to America. We're going to give him we're going to get restitution money from Digger One. Okay, Mr. Obama, you go back over in your pot. Thank you, Rabbi. And we didn't forget the super chat. Jack Thompson retracted the message, but I didn't see it, so I can't say it. But I know that Jack Thompson had something to say. So let's do thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, and gold is my business. God is my business. God. All right. Thank you, Jack. And William Jenkins. Now, William, thank you, William. Love you, man. No troll. Thank you very much. So, price is petty reasonable when you factor in that it comes with anti-gravity boots. Says Scott Del Fuego about Digger One. It's actually quite reasonable. And Digger One is going to be using these anti-gravity boots when I do next week's show. As soon as I get the bolts installed on him, you're going to see how the lights on the shoes light up. What? See the shoes now? The bolts, because the chains are on Digger's hands, basically he's handcuffed. Because of the chains, the electric is going to go straight down through the bolts into his feet, and the anti-gravity boots should get brighter. It's going to be experimental. And William Jenkins, those stories I told you about the men and the snacks and how if you stop, okay, it doesn't matter that they know you or not. If a foreigner stops to talk to a group of Filipinos or they will ask you to buy them something. That's standard. So I mean, they're not disrespecting you, but I will say that they will do that, especially if they know that you're new. They expect you to buy them stuff. That's true. So. And William Jenkins gets a special pot bag. We're gonna do, William Jenkins? Wait, here for William, we're gonna show you how black pots matter, William Jenkins. Black pots matter. Mr. Obama, come over here. Get inside this pot here. Come on over here. For William. Do it for William Jenkins. Okay. Mr. Obama, look, he's got chains on him too. Wow. Okay, so Black Pots Matter, William Jenkins. We have a special. Obama is operating the Black Pots Matter movement. William Jenkins, Black Pots Matter. William Jenkins, Salamat. Salamat. Salamat rhymes with pot. Salamat pot. William Jenkins, we thank you. William Jenkins. Mr. Obama says, thank you, William Jenkins. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, what are you doing, Mr. Obama? I was thanking William Jenkins. Looked like you was doing something else, I gotta tell you. So, Mr. Obama, we're about ready to say Princess Anne. Princess Anne, I do need to talk to you. So hold on a minute, Princess. Scott Del Fuego, price is pretty reasonable when you factor in it comes with anti-gravity boots. Those anti-gravity boots for the digger are worth the $36 all by themselves. And I got to find a pair of anti-gravity boots that'll fit my feet soon. I got an idea, Jack. I got a new idea. So, Princess Anne, now I cannot talk to you here, Princess Anne. I have something to pass on to you from somebody else. So, Mike, are you kidding me? Richard Cahill. Richard Cahill, you're a long-term subscriber to my channel. No, Richard, we do comedy, we do satire, and we do shows, and we have a whole selection. Now, one more thing I want to talk to you about serious now. Mr. Trump. Now, he's your only possible chance to survive anything that is coming down the pike. But I'm going to tell you, that this whole lockdown event, let's just call it the lockdown event, the vacation event, this has been planned for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Now, I know you don't believe me, and my friend that got back from Australia, about 4 or 5 years ago, I explained to him at a party that we were at, but not local. The party was about 10 kilometers from here. I explained to them that they were going to force vaccinate everybody. I explained that they were going to do this at the party. And now, I did not drink at the time, and this was even before I met Daisy, and I was not drunk. But I was talking to a group of about 7 men, and I might as well have been talking to a tree, except that eventually one man, the man that just got back from Australia, and it just cost him $17,000, he remembers that conversation. But that night, he did not argue with me. No one argued. It was a group of friends, but they listened, and they just didn't think that what I was saying about the forced vaccinations and worldwide, that they didn't think it was true. And in fact, they didn't believe in chemtrails. Not one of them believed in chemtrails. They just said, no, those are exhaust fumes. So when they said that, I realized I wasn't talking to, I certainly wasn't talking to any rocket scientists. So, and I was trying to make them understand that these are not things that are made up. These are plans that have been in the pike, coming down the pike. Some of them from Admiral Pike, or whatever that guy's name is, the Pike at the head of the Masons, first Mason, Alfred Pike or Albert Pike, I think his name, Albert, Albert. Anyway, he made these plans 100+ years ago. So when I was explaining to them that they're going to make everybody in America get the chip in the hand or the forehead and end vaccinations and what was in the sky, I was showing them what was in the sky. It was in the afternoon. It was like 5 o'clock. And they didn't believe that. The line, I'm going, okay, so we're in Bohol, right? Where is the airport in Bohol? And everybody said, over there. And which way is the plane going? Going that way. That pass was going. And what's over that way? Nothing. For 4,000 miles. Nothing at all. So they didn't believe me. But when he got back from Australia, I said to him, do you remember the conversation we had at such and such's house like 4.5, 5 years ago? He goes, yeah. And I told you they were going to force vaccinate everybody. And he said, yeah. And I told you that they want to put a mark, like, so that they can keep track of you. He's going, yeah, I remember that. And so I says, now do you understand? He goes, yeah, he does. Because it just cost him $17,000 to get back from Australia. So in the beginning, I explained the round trip tickets for him and his wife were $950. It was a 3-week stay in Australia that ended up taking him March 11th, April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. Exactly. 6 months. $17,000 in 6 months. And he remembers the conversation. So we talked about something else, and I told him, when you get your internet turned back on, look up Agenda 2021. And he said, I've heard about that. And I said, you look it up. And then you tell me that what happened to you, and that the fact that we're 3 months away from the year 2021, you tell me this all doesn't make sense. So I suggest anybody watching this live stream, you look up 2 dates, 3 things. I want you to look up 3 things. I want you to look up, this is a PDF. There's no virus on this website. PDF is a document that cannot be changed. No letters, no words. It's from 1963. It's called take the out. Report from Iron Mountain. Report from Iron Mountain. If you have a good reading level, somewhere between, 12th grade or above, you can read the report in about 3 hours. If you have a college reading level, you could do it in 45 minutes. Either way, everything in the report from 1963 is happening today. Chemicals in the water, radiation poisoning, chemical poisoning through fracking. Because in the report from Iron Mountain, it says it's a 1984 George Orwell double speak, reverse speak document. It says we have to prevent our streams and rivers from being polluted from radiation and chemicals. Well, what do the big corporations do with their chemicals? They dump them in the rivers and streams. What does the Environmental Protection Agency do about that? Not much. But more specifically, they built nuclear power plants all over the United States. And all of the stuff that they built in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's all leaking into the rivers and streams. And they said one of the biggest hazards in the report from Iron Mountain would be nuclear waste. So we have to prevent that. And what is causing now millions of cases of cancer? Nuclear waste. There's a dome in the Marshall Islands on, I forgot the name of the island. I did a bunch of research on this a few months back, but immediately after World War II, you look this up. The United States government did this on purpose. After World War II, they wanted to experiment, and they had a project where they were going to drop 23 nuclear bombs. You want to talk about contamination through radiation? This is real. They're going to drop 23 nuclear bombs starting in April of 1946, shortly after the war. The first nuclear bomb detonation that's going to start an operation. The first nuclear bomb detonation was called Operation Gilda, Gilda. That was the first of 23 nuclear bombs that were dropped on the Marshall Islands. Now, this is how the United States government lied to the people. They removed from one island where the first bomb was going to be dropped 162 people and relocated them to a distant island and said, you'll be gone off your island about 2 weeks. Their grandchildren are still not back on the island because it's so radioactive. So with that, the first nuclear bomb detonation was called Operation Gilda, but the entire operation was called Operation Crossroads, Crossroads, Operation Crossroads, where that involved 23 nuclear detonations, including a thermal nuclear radiation device that was the biggest. And that bomb was called Operation Bravo. So now they're done. Now they've destroyed the most pristine blue lagoons in the South Pacific, in the Bikini Atoll. The most beautiful of all the islands and the most beautiful of all the lagoons, that's where they perform their operation. Because the lagoon has like a certain depth of water and then it's flat. So it was easy to study what happens to the bottom of the ocean after the bomb, wildlife and growth. And also it was easy for them to anchor the ships because the ocean depth was shallow in the lagoon. So they placed 78 vessels in to see what would happen. Now, Operation Gilda, the first bomb, destroyed some of the smaller and closer vessels. But Operation Bravo, they said they made a mistake and it was too big. It destroyed 78 ships all at once, just gone. So I don't know if they did it on purpose or not. But moving past that, so after that, an additional 21 nuclear detonations were performed in the outskirts of in the Bikini Atoll, or otherwise known as the Marshall Islands. Okay, so now they got that. So now, from 1949 or 1950, they stopped the nuclear testing. The people they took off the islands can never go back. That's not possible. But they said they'll only be gone for 2 weeks. So they kept removing people from the island. So the government, United States government, as far as radiation, they lied. So now, 1977 happens. And the islands are safe enough for you to go back on for a short period of time. And they said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to collect all the nuclear materials from the critters that they built in the holes that they made in the island from the bomb drops, and the towers and the tanks, everything that was radioactive that they couldn't get in 1946 or 49. They're going to take all of this equipment and they're going to scrape 18 inches of sand from the immediate crater area. I'm going to put all of this stuff in landing craft, and they're going to bring it to another island, to a big crater that's 327 feet wide and like 100 feet deep. So they get 10,000 soldiers, and they put the soldiers in boots, shorts, and t-shirts, and they give them plastic bags to collect any piece of metal, any kind of aluminum or metal debris that they find anywhere, put it into plastic bags and bring it to the landing craft. And while that's happening, as bulldozers and front-end loaders are scraping the soil out of the craters. Now, all of the soil is radioactive, all of it. And the dust, here, I'll explain to you how plutonium kills you in a minute. The dust is all, I own an excavation company my whole life. The dust is all being churned up from these machines going on and off the landing craft. So the landing craft pulls up to the beach, and the machines and the bags of metal, and the metal is from the towers, whatever's left of the bomb fragments, and one dud on one island, which had several. They used the number 44. They love that number 44. It has to do with a couple of things of Masonic ancestry, but I'm not going to get involved. I put it in my book, Angels on the Ark, but I won't get involved what the number 44 actually means. But they said, whenever you see the number 44, that's a Masonic thing. They said there are we put 44 pieces of plutonium in the bomb that was a dud. See if you can find those 44 pieces, because it didn't explode into a thermonuclear reaction. It just exploded from the dynamite charge. So those 44 pieces, supposedly 44, those are still radioactive plutonium pieces. Very highly radioactive. In fact, everybody that picked them up died shortly thereafter. But so they gather all of this debris from all the islands, from whatever they could, with bulldozers onto landing craft, LMC landing crafts, and they take it over to this other island, and they put it in the crater. And now the crater is got water in it because it's only 150 feet from shore, so it's basically 75 or 85 feet deep in its water. So it's coral, and coral's like a sponge. Water goes right through it. So when the tide went up, the water went in. When the tide went out, the water went out. And there's a 6-foot tidal drop there. They know that the bottom of the crater is not impermeable material. So water comes in, water goes out, water comes in, water goes out twice a day forever. And they just dumped all this radioactive waste into this hole. And they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to protect the people from this. And they put 18 inches of concrete over the hole. But in the hole, the water goes up, the water goes down, the water goes through the coral, water comes back out through the coral, water goes up, water goes down. So since they built the dome in 1977, the 10,000 soldiers that picked up the debris, and no one knows which pieces they picked up, many of those, thousands of them, have died shortly thereafter from cancer. Now here's the crux of the matter, as Joe Mealy would say. The men were not on active duty during a war, so they can't claim medical benefits or claim that it was from doing that job. But the government knew it was from picking up that material. So they have a class action lawsuit. Well, all those guys are dead now anyway, so the class action lawsuit didn't mean anything, because by 1977, when they started the cleanup, the younger men were 20 and the older men were 40. So that's 30 years, 40 years ago. So they're all dead. So they never gave those soldiers any restitution for the medical expenses because they weren't part of a war. But the government knew that that stuff would kill them. They're experimenting with human guinea pigs. Now, the water going in and out of the crater, they knew that too. So now, from storms in the Marshall Islands, what was 150 feet away from the dome, that where the water goes up and down under the dome, now it's about 75 feet. And the dome itself is cracking. Now, in that dome are all of those pieces of plutonium, except the ones they didn't find, and all of the radioactive material. So they say, this is the bullshit that you get from the government. They say if the dome collapses, the Pacific Ocean is in danger of becoming radioactive. That's a lie. That's just a straight up and down lie. We call that in Visaya Bakakunka, government of the United States. The water has been going up and down in that crater for 31 years. The water's been letting that stuff slowly leach out. But plutonium has a half-life of 21,000 years. So that area where they dump that stuff will never be safe. But they know that. That's why they left the bottom unsealed, so that the water would bring a little bit of radiation out every time the water went through it. And that's the same thing that's happening from Fukushima. And they don't tell you about that. Remember, the people on the Marshall Islands were removed from the Bikini Atoll for 2 weeks. Remember, they said that in 2 weeks they'll have Fukushima under control. And now we have Trump. We have Trump in the White House that said it would be temporary. Vacation mandatory for everybody would only be a few weeks, couple of weeks. They lie. They are liars. They lie to you every day. Now, if you want to see what is really going to happen, and I've been telling people this for 10 years, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. If you want to see what's really going to happen right away, we are 3 months away from the year 2021. You go on Google or whatever search engine you want and Google what is Agenda 21, okay? And what it is a plan that was devised in 1972, written down and in PDF format. You could find it in PDF format, but it was written in stone what the plan was in 1972. It hasn't changed much. And then when you get through that, you go and Google Agenda 2030. You won't get through that. You're not going to get through that. In fact, by 2030, you won't even be here to read that. According to what Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030 is, you won't even be around to read it 10 years from now. And then, if you really want to get sick, Google Agenda 2050. If you get through those three things. And if you think that I'm kidding, I'm not kidding. I've been reading about this stuff for 35 or 40 years. I only just came on YouTube and started making videos about it in 2010. But Mr. Trump, the vacation for everybody, that was planned out 10 years in advance. Trump came up with a viable option for a vaccine in 10 days. That's not possible. And it's not tested, and it's not recommended. But he's going to take the first. Of course, let me have his, because it's just a bunch of distilled water. But you people, I have a friend of mine that has, not Warren, but I have a good friend of mine in America that has He has an immune deficiency. Doesn't have AIDS, but he has a low white blood cell count. So he's susceptible to any germs. So he's like a germophobic, like Northern Heights or Northern Lights. He can't go out of the house. And Mr. Trump, he wants you to take that vaccine. He needs you to take that vaccine. He wants to give you $1,000 to take that vaccine, because in the end, it's going to save him from paying your Social Security or Social Security disability, or your 401ks are going to disappear, or your retirement packages are going to disappear, because you ain't going to be around to use it. You better get it through your head. This shit's real, and it gets more real every day. All right. Thank you. Mike, are you kidding me? Richard Cahill, welcome to the machine. TT Tony 2002 from HB. What's up, Tony? How you doing? Remember everybody walking around going, how you doing? How you doing? I just bought a couple of aces. That was up. I remember saying, how you doing to my boss. I built the Jewish synagogue. I rebuilt the Jewish synagogue. I think it was 160th or 160th Avenue and 84th Street. I rebuilt the entire synagogue for a guy. He had a cool name, and his partner. I was the only person they paid on the job. I did all the plumbing and all the electric with the electricians. I worked with them. Corey, his name was. I forgot the name of the construction company. I have pictures of it somewhere. So Corey and his partner, who were my bosses, they owned the house next door, and they wanted a custom cedar skin on the house. So I told them how to prep the house for me, and I went out and bought aluminum scaffold jacks, 30-foot scaffold, 4x4. It's like a 2x4, double 2x4 and then I bought the pump jacks, but these were pump jacks for aluminum scaffold poles and all the bracketing. So I'm doing this job, and I see two brand new Jaguars pull up outside the front of the house, because it was Corey and his partner's job. And I said, what's up? And he goes, we just bought a couple of aces. Now, I never heard that expression before, but I guess they got that from the car dealer. So, how you doing? And any time you ask somebody, how you doing? They'd say, I just bought a Corvette, or I just bought this, or I just bought that, or I just bought a house. Whenever you asked anybody in Howard Beach, how you doing, they would always tell you what you're buying, what they just bought. I always thought that was funny. When somebody says, how you doing? I'm waiting for the punchline. I just bought this. Okay. So, Tony T, how you doing, Tony T? Fixing Jack Thompson with intellectual construction advice. Fixing a screen door should only take appointments 1 hour. There he goes again with that screen door repair. He's never going to live that one down. You people need to listen and consider what... Okay, so Scott Del Fuego. Thank you, Jack. You people, says Scott Del Fuego, okay, now, before I read this comment, I don't care whether you people listen to me or not. I have to digress to my friend in the United States with the low white blood cell count. So, as everybody knows, I talk to a lot of people on Skype on a regular basis, probably 18 or 20 people I'll have a conversation with, try to get that many people to say hello during the month, because we're on lockdown. I don't have much else to do. I have some things to do, but not much. So I called up my buddy in the U.S., and I asked him how his illness was doing, and he said he ain't good. Not only is he not good, now he's got arthritis. So he's almost bedridden unless he takes a pain pill to get out of bed. Just to get out of bed. So I asked him about his low white blood count, and he said that for whatever reason, he's had this for a couple of years. They can't figure out what it is. So these doctors in America that are getting paid $500 or $1,000 an hour for their time, and that's what they make every day that they go to their office, have been testing this friend of mine for like 3.5 years to get his white blood cells up. Now, there was medication that he was taking, and about a year ago, that medication stopped working. So now, for almost a year, they're doing a test every 2 weeks. He has to go in for a blood test. And every 2 weeks, they check it. But the medication that he started taking in January sometimes takes till the end of February to start changing his system around. So for 8 weeks, they don't know if the medicine that they're going to give him is going to work. Now, these are people that are getting paid $1,000 an hour for 8 hours a day that goes into their office. So now for a year, they're still testing him every 2 weeks. And they have some new medication that they're going to try as a last resort. But he is supposed to not leave the house, but he has to leave the house to go get foods and stuff like that. So when he was talking to the doctor, I talked to him about a week ago, so going back 2 weeks, he told the doctor that what he asked the doctor, what should I do about the vaccine? And the doctor said to him, like the doctor said, you didn't take the vaccine, did you? And he said, no. The doctor said, you take that vaccine and you got 90 days to live. That's what the doctor said. That's what the doctor said. I didn't say that. The doctor said at best, with your blood count, what low white blood cell count, and what they put in that vaccination to prepare you or to defend against a possible viral infection, the doctor said, you won't live through it. He said, you won't live through the vaccination. We'll have to get you a free pass. So now that he does have a low white blood cell count, but what I'm about to tell you, everything I did tell you is the truth. Now, what I'm about to tell you about Scott Del Fuego, I don't know what he said. I saw the first line. I can't see it without my glasses. What you need to understand is that there are 2 or 3 people here right now watching that are my friends that know that what I said and what I'm saying is true. Scott Del Fuego may have more inside information as to what is true, as to what's going on, than any other human being in the live chat, including myself, because he's going to get memorandums from places that I couldn't even get. He can't even send them to me, but I already know what's going on. So I'm going to read Scott Del Fuego's comment. The good old days, says Tony T, LOL. Scott Del Fuego says, you people need to listen and consider what Fazio has to say. He's giving you people a chance to protect yourselves. He's not going to feel sorry for you people if you don't pay attention. And to be honest, I don't know what the solution is. Well, I do know what the solution is. But if I told you what the solution is, it would probably have repercussions for myself and my YouTube channel. So I won't tell you what the solution is. But you wouldn't like the solution anyway. And most of you wouldn't be able to adhere to the solution. If I told you to start saving foods, for instance, and I told you, people in America especially, because they're already running out of stuff there, according to my friend. But if I told you to put a year's worth of food together, a year, not a month, a year, 1 year, 365 days. If I told you to do that in America, you would say that's nuts. Well, that's one of my suggestions. And as far as gold, or silver is concerned, you could take that and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Nobody's going to be sitting out in the field with an Ohas gram scale or grain scale weighing out your gold and testing it. It ain't going to happen. You're not going to walk into a supermarket with an ounce of gold and say, I want $1,000 worth of food. It ain't going to happen. You're going to go to a pawn shop with that to get money? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be worth anything. I think food, and I think projectiles, lots and lots and lots of things that fly through the air. Maybe a crossbow, because you're allowed to have crossbows in America, or something that, some sort of protection for you and yours. But you people think I'm kidding. This is what it's come down to. And when you read those four different PDFs, Report from Iron Mountain, Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030, and Agenda 2050, when you read that, you're going to say, this isn't real. And then you're going to look around and you say, well, you know what? This just might be real. It's happening now. Agenda 2021 wasn't supposed to start on January 1st. The plan was to have it in place, working in the year 2021. And it's in place, working just like they said it would in 1963, 1972, updated. Maybe there's some small revisions in it. You people are really, this isn't paranoia anymore. This is not paranoia anymore. It's not paranoid delusion. It's not conspiracy theories. There was a woman, I saw a video this morning. Facebook is censoring people. If a doctor, a very famous Italian doctor in Italian, said, don't take the vaccination. The doctor said, don't take the vaccination. It's just one of three parts. By the time you get to the third part, it'll be over for you anyway. Either you'll be lethargic, like you had a frontal lobotomy, or you'll be gone altogether. But he said, don't take it. And every time it goes up on Facebook, when she was pushing the thumbs up, it wouldn't take a thumbs up. And then she'd go to the next video, push the thumbs up, it took the thumbs up. Next video, thumbs up. Next video, thumbs up. So this doctor that was telling you the truth couldn't thumbs it up. So she switched over to another doctor, two doctors, that were telling you the truth. Then she pushed the thumbs up, not possible. You are being censored. Facebook, Google, YouTube. They're doing what their rules say they can do. They can run their channel the way they want. That's what they're doing. They're taking that option to do whatever it is that they want to do on their channel. That's their option. If you read the entire litany of rules, if you could figure it out, you would come to the conclusion that they can do that. They don't have to push the thumbs up. They don't have to post your videos in mainstream, and they don't have to even let your videos play, except for, like for me, I have 19,178 subscribers. I've had 19,100 plus subscribers for a year now, 1 year. Every month I get 50, every month I lose 55. 1 month I get 50, and in 1 month I lose 45. The next month I get 50, I lose 55. The next month I get 50, I lose 60. Next month I get 70, I lose 80. A year, outgaining 100 subscribers. And people like me who tell you the stuff I just told you get, at best, the notices go out to 4% of our subscriber base because the bells have been unclicked. So 10% would be 1,900, 5% would be 800 and 1900, 850, 1900, no, 900, 1900, 950, 950 views. 4% would be about 800 views. I get less because I had very special videos about the great state of Israel. The great state of Israel. I have been telling people about the great state of Israel and the people with the dual citizenships for 10 years, and they just censored my channel. So now I get about 1.5% of my subscriber base watches my videos. About 1.5%, because no one knows that I put up a video. I put up, Scott Del Fuego will vouch for me. About a year ago, 8 months ago, Scott says he's not getting notices. And then when he comes to my channel, when he knows that I have a live stream because I sent him an email just 2 hours before that, and he'll come to my channel and it won't show that I have a live stream up. Well, how is that possible? That's total censorship. So that's what they're doing to me. That's what they did to Grindall 61. That's what they're doing to Eric DeBay. They're doing it to they took Stephen Molyneux off YouTube altogether for telling you the truth about other things. This is all part of reading Agenda 2021. You'll see it's all in play. The government has to be in total control of all media. Well, that's already done. It's done deal. So when I revert back to my comedy skits with Mr. Obama and Digger One, and next week Digger One is going to have, I'll show you exactly what Digger One is going to look like next week. I'll tell you what. Now, you remember Mary Shelley's book, the famous novel that was from 1888, I think it was, where Dr. Henry Frankenstein created the monster. Now, the way the monster, I'll tell you the story, the backstory on Henry Frankenstein, Dr. Henry Frankenstein's monster. Okay, so Boris Karloff, I think, who played Igor, right? So Dr. Henry Frankenstein was a very brilliant scientist. The guy wasn't crazy. He was a brilliant scientist. So he discovered a way to put together a body and keep the body from deteriorating. And he built a body from body parts, from wherever he got them, from cadavers from the university, whatever. This is the story. This is really, I'm not being facetious. This is the true story about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein novel. And Henry Frankenstein was the name of the scientist, that doctor that put the Frankenstein monster together. And Igor was his gopher to go, an errand boy. So Dr. Henry Frankenstein sent Igor to the morgue to get a brain. Now, there were two people in the morgue that had died the same day. One of the people was supposed to be a genius, and the other person was a mental patient from a nearby institution. And Igor took the brain out of the wrong person. And that's why Frankenstein's monster was childlike in nature and didn't understand reality. That's true. That's the story of Frankenstein or Henry Frankenstein's monster. So the way that he had to bring the monster to life was he stuck bolts in the side of the body parts that he put together. He stuck these bolts into the side of the head like that, right? Okay, so now you got a bolt, and you got, let me get this right here. Let me try it. Come on over there. Okay, so we got a bolt. We'll just make the bolt stick out the back for now. So the bolt is sticking out of the neck, right? And now he put on the end of the bolt, he put nuts on the end of the bolt like that. So now he got nuts on the end of the bolt. And then he took the cables, the jumper cables, and brought them up to the roof and was waiting for a lightning strike. Come on over here, little fella. Come on over here. He was waiting for a lightning strike from the top of the roof. He had the wires hooked up to the nuts on either side of the monster's neck with electrodes to the roof. And on the roof was a lightning rod. So when the lightning hit the body parts and the brain of the guy with the psychological disorders, the one Igor got the brains mixed up, the monster came to life. But being that Igor got the wrong brain, the monster did not have a high IQ. There was two people in the morgue. One was a genius and the other one was a psychiatric patient. So that's how Dr. Frankenstein monster became not liked in his community. And that's why I think there was some sort of a problem with the monster itself. And then the townsfolk came after him and he had to run away and hide. I have to read. I didn't finish reading the article because I was just skimming through it this morning. But I do remember that because the monster didn't have the intelligent brain and had the brain of a psychiatric patient in the monster, that he got in a lot of trouble where he lived. And the townsfolk came to the Frankenstein castle because that Dr. Frankenstein had a big castle, and they wanted to they wanted the monster. They wanted him, the monster. They wanted to do things to him. So I just want to let you know. I wanted to share that story. I have to go finish reading the rest. By next week, I'll have all the facts about the name of if the monster had a name. I don't remember what the name was. I read this like 10 days ago. But I'll go back for you, my friends, my subscribers, my base. I'll go back and get the details of Henry Frankenstein's creation of the Frankenstein monster. But before I do that, I want to explain something to you. This is a bottle of water. Okay, this is a bottle of water. Now, inside this bottle of water, you could see an air bubble. See how the air bubble went to the top? Now, inside this bottle of water is anise, the flavoring of anise. I use anise flavoring. I'll show this to you. I'm going to go get the container that I use and how many. I'll show you how to make anise water, how it never gets a bacteria in it. Never. These bottles are months old with the anise in the water. So I use distilled water. Now, John Escape was supposed to send me a water distiller, and I think he went out and even bought it, but he can't get it to the Philippines. And my water distiller broke, and I can't fix it. So inside the bottom right there, those are little pieces of anise. Now, that's not how much I put in the bottle. Each week on Sunday, I add 7 or 8 pieces and then fill this up to the top. So these pieces of anise that you see at the bottom, they have been in there for 4 or 5 months. And it keeps the bacteria out of the water. But it will also keep the bacteria out of any bottle of water at any time. So even you take this bottle and I put it outside in the sun for 3 months. Sun, rain, no snow, no sleet. Sun, rain, cold, hot, sun, rain, for 3 months, and I open this bottle up. After I drink out of it, say I drink half the bottle. Well, normally in a few days, the bacteria from your spittle will cause the water to go bad. It'll be highly bacteriological. But with the water from the anise, say I drink 1/3 or half the bottle, and my saliva goes back in there, naturally called backwash. So when I come back 3 months from now, it should be not drinkable, right? No. When you put the anise in the water, And I'm telling you this so that you could maybe get some anise for your water to keep the bacteria out of it in case they do shut the water supply off. Say I put this out in the sun 3 months and I come back and say I spit in it, just throw one in there. 3 months from now, the anise killed the bacteria. I'll be able to drink the bottle. Now, while I'm on that subject of drinking the bottle of water, you see that this bottle is full, right? Now, what you see on YouTube a lot is you see people sipping water. Let me tell you something. Let me just be quite frank with you. Real men don't sip water. Real men drink bottles of water non-stop. They put the bottle to their lips and they just consume the entire bottle. That's what real men do. Now, some men who are men but not men, that's like a Bible thing. A man that was a man but not a man. So it's a biblical thing. It's in the red letters. Jesus said it. So a man who thinks he's a man but not really a man is not a man, even though he thinks he's a man. It's one of those oxymorons. So now you have men, the original sippers. They're okay. Those guys are okay because they're the original sippers. They are where the sippers originated. They even have their own places to live. They have their own houses or mobile homes or whatever. Those are the original sippers. Those guys are good. And those guys, the original sippers, they love Mr. Obama, and Mr. Obama loves those guys. Them guys. D-I-M, them guys. So Mr. Obama, in fact, Mr. Obama loves one of them guys so much that Mr. Obama is waiting at the hotel for the original sipper, and he's going to leave a nut out for you. Okay, so that's the original sipper. Then you have these guys that come on and want to be original sippers, but they can never be a proper sipper. They sounds like sip, sounds like sip, but they're not sippers. They're imitation sippers. And then you have what is known as a real man, or Rabbi Jew Barker in the Philippines, baby. Now, that's a real man. So a real man doesn't sip. A real man doesn't make fun of the original sippers. Here's what a real man puts the bottle to his lips and consumes the entire bottle of water. And I will show you how that's done after I read that comment. The good old days, says Tony. Oh, we're not even anywhere near close to the bottom. The good old days, says Tony. Okay. No. You know what? Let me figure out with Andrew how to get you on. Scott, Jack, my computer will not, and you have words. My computer will not allow me to get on StreamYards. Otherwise, I would have done that. All right, so wait. Let me go through the comments. The good old days from TT Tony 2002. Yeah, right. It's close to St. Helens. Well, the Jewish synagogue that I built is on like 84th Street. It's now actually I turned what was a synagogue. We extended the building on the entire avenue, and I built rooms for school children to learn the ways of the Jewish ways. And I think that was on 84th Street and 161st Avenue, Tony. Jack Thompson, I found of blue footballs in the street. I ate 2 of them by my accident I'm extremely angry not. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. How could you eat a football? Jack, this is all I have to say to you. In all creation, there is only one you, Jack Thompson. Ha, 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 ha. Blue stars, baby. Blue stars for Jack Thompson. Yeah, baby. Look, he's got a Jack Thompson Boston hat on, and he looks like a very happy man. Yeah, he ate those blue footballs, and he's got psychedelics all around him. Yeah, baby, Jack Thompson. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. All right, so uh, LOL Tony, TT Tony 2002. We used to steal wine out of that place in the 1970s. Wow. Yeah, I never. You know what we used to do, Tony? Remember the beer distributor on Cross Bay Boulevard? Okay, so remember that on the side of the beer next to Cecil's gas station and repair, that Michael Morash, Cecil Morash was the guy's name who owned the gas station on 165th Avenue and Cross Bay Boulevard was the gas station. It was a 3-bay automotive shop and gas station. It was owned by Cecil Morash. Later, the son took it over. But next to the gas station, the next door over was the beer distributor, the beer and soda distributor. And what we would do is we would take the milk crates or something and get up on top of the fence and go over the fence because it was just a regular cyclone fence back then. And we would take the cases of the soda bottles and bring them down to the outside and into the parking lot. And then we would bring the bottles into the beer distributor and get free soda. This was when we were about 14 years old, 12 years old. So, Jack Thompson, just remember, in all of creation, there was only one of you. So that went on. I can't even tell you how many years. I think the guy knew. Because we were bringing in 10, 15 cases at a time to get to get sodas to go to the underneath the bridge and hang out under the North Channel Bridge. I think he knew. I just don't think he can. All right. Jack Thompson. As soon as I get a computer, Jack, I will bring you up on the panel. Put me in your panel, says Jack Thompson. Scott, are you prepared to drive a hard bargain? Jack Thompson said, Scott, drive a delicate hard bargain. Scott Johnson wordsmithed it. Thank you, Princess. Yeah, well, I'll get with you on Facebook, Princess. I have something to ask you. The boat I am looking at costs $1,400 to fill up with fuel. My God. Yep. And that typically lasts about 8 or 9 hours at best. So, Scott Del Fuego is going to buy a boat. And everybody knows what the word boat means. And Scott is about to find out firsthand. Boat means bust out another 1,000. Bust out another 1,000. Nothing is more expensive than owning a boat or escalate, except if you escalate the boat up to an ocean racer for fuel. And then if you really want to pay big bucks, buy an airplane and try not to rent it out to make the payments on your airplane. Airplanes are expensive like you wouldn't believe. Bust out another 1,000 Scott Del Fuego. Let me get through the comments. The boat I'm looking at costs $1,400 to fill up. That's about a day. Well, that's about 8 hours. The average boat holds 8 hours worth of fuel. I'll talk to you all when I have time. I'm experiencing to asparagus P. Some guy, Abby Normal. Abby Normal. LOL. Whatever you do, don't put a nephew in there. I'm missing something. Message retracted. Okay, so real men drink the whole bottle of water. So you can see the water at the top. See it? Right? And I'll show you the little bubble. Real men drink a whole bottle of water. Sippers, original sippers, 2 thumbs up. Imitation simpers, sippers. Imitation sippers that are always trying to be real sippers. You don't really deserve to be talking about the original sippers. So here we go. I don't do it fast. There's a reason for that. Ready? Real men drink bottles of water. Real men are not sippers, and they're not wannabe simps. I slur my words when I have a bottle of water in my hand. Real men drink entire bottles of water. They don't make fun of the original sippers because that makes them not sippers, simpers. Oh God, I can't. Something in there. Those people are wannabe sippers. They're wannabe sippers. Sounds like simpers, but it's not. It's sippers, sippers. Real men drink real bottles of real water with anise in them. That's what real men do. They don't bitch every fucking day. They don't do that about people that sip water. They don't make fun of people that sip water, especially people that sip water that are traveling men. That they're not real travelers, not travelers like I'm a traveling man, but only certain people would understand what I just said. So, real sippers, okay, wannabe sippers, wannabe sippers, making fun of real sippers doesn't make you nothing but an imitation sipper, sipper, real sipper. And real men drink bottles of water. I just want to share that with you before I leave for the day. Sometimes Dennis Adams forgets to pull up his sipper. Do you know I put my pants on the other day and I left the house, right? And I was walking. I'm not going to tell you that story. But I felt a draft, and I'm going, what the? And the Komasiki, I'm a quarter cold. So, no, I can't tell you that story. It's a funny story. So I went out to see a couple of friends of mine, and it's just a funny story. Anyway, real men drink bottles of water. So, Mr. Obama, let's recap this. Mr. Obama, what are you going to do next week? We're bringing Digger to justice. Digger justice. So, where are you located? Martha's Vineyard on the ocean. And Digger, come on over here. Let's say hello to Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama, he's been hitting you a lot. You feel like hitting him back? Yeah, I'm going to smack him back, Rabbi. Hold him tight. Oh, whoa, what's going on here? It's better. See Mr. Obama's head, the way it bounces when he hits Digger's bippy? Okay, so explain to us what's going to happen next week, Mr. Obama. I'm going to bring Digger to justice. Okay, so we have some problems, Mr. Obama. What's the problem, Rabbi? What is the problem now? Well, Digger's in the Philippines. Not a problem. Not a problem. So what are the charges, Mr. Obama? Digging holes in my backyard between my house and the ocean. Not allowed to do that. So he dug up your backyard. That's right, Rabbi. Okay, so what could happen to Digger? First, we got to get him to the United States. How's that going to happen? There's a procedure. I will tell you about that procedure next week. So what is some of the procedure? He needs a freaking escort. He can't go on the plane by himself. He's a digger. He's not a human being. Okay, so Digger's going to be escorted to the United States. That's right. Okay, so you'll explain that procedure next week? That's right, Rabbi. I'm going to get a list from the guys, the three letter men. And Digger, what is he going to do? He's going to give me $100,000 because of the holes he dug in the backyard. I got to give it to the lawn guys. And Digger, what do you got to say about that? No, not going to let that happen. I'll electrocute myself before that happens. Okay, so there's going to be a conflict of interest. What? You have anything to say? That's it, Rabbi. I'm done. Digger, you get the last word. You hit him with the spoon, Digger. That's not fair. All's fair in love and war, Rabbi. I spooned Mr. Obama. I love Mr. Obama. I'm spooning him. Spooning is like singing. I love you, Mr. Obama. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I hit you with my bippy. I hit you with the spoon. I give you the thing over here like that. I give it to you like this. I give it to you like that. In fact, what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Obama, is I'm going to give you one for the bottom of the flat earth with the gravity boots. That's right, baby. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hit him with the gravity boots. The anti-gravity boots. One for the Gipper. One for the Gipper, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis, thank you for stopping by. Luckily, I wore my shirt on the outside and not tucked in when I worked at Cabela's a few hours after I would finally realize my pants zipper was unzipped. LOL. All we have to say to you about that, Mr. Obama said, God bless you, Dennis. God bless you. And God bless Big Mike. You guys are the same. Shanghai and Visaya. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Appreciate the super chat. I'm going to read off who was in the chat. Of course, we have Dennis Adams. Jack Thompson, thank you. Dennis Adams, thank you. Steve 25901, thank you. Tony T 202, thank you. Take care of yourself, Tony. Scott Del Fuego, the wordsmith, thank you very much, Scott. Princess Anne, I have to get to that other venue that we talk on. We have a request of you. Thank you, Princess Anne. I'm hoping that your dad is out of the hospital. I did see those that he was in there for 3 days. I don't, there's not much that we can say about things like that. It's just part of growing old, Princess Anne, and it's sad. The sad part of growing old. Next person that I didn't mention yet is Princess Anne. Thank you for stopping by. William Jenkins, thank you. We'll give William Jenkins, give him a little William Jenkins. We'll put Mr. Obama in the black pot where he belongs. Black pots matter. And William Jenkins, a little shout out and a big smile. Wee! This is fun. William Jenkins, thank you. And Jack Thompson. Hi. Oh, this is fun. And Steve 25901, thank you. And let's see who else. Jack Thompson with a big super chat. We give him a 19 gun salute. 1. Thank you. 2. Thank you. 3. Thank you. 4. Thank you. Thank you. 5, 6, 7. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jack Thompson. He liked my idea, Jack Thompson. He liked my idea. I'll go through some further show notes. 19, baby. Salamat. William Jenkins, we got to give you a nickel. William Jenkins gets a nickel's worth of super chat. Ring the bell. I got to tell you, if I told you the first time I heard that expression that I remember that expression, ring the bell, you don't want to know. William Jenkins hit me hard. Super chat from the heart. William Jenkins brought a smile to my pot. William Jenkins, he gave me a lot. Salamat. So, let's see what else we got. We didn't have Go-Go Boba's sister was in the house. He's the original gummy bear. Hi, I didn't see you. I apologize if you're still here. You've been around the last couple of days. I've seen you in a lot of places. Thank you for stopping by. And Dave in the Philippines, thank you for stopping by. Graham, thank you for stopping by. Shout out. Flying Circus is back. He told me he's been gone 7 or 8 months, and I see him here, and I will, pretty sure that's the real one. I did see him, saw him a couple of days ago, Flying Circus on another, forgot which stream it was, but I saw you. Thanks for stopping by. And of course, Bruce Davis, thank you. I heard what happened to you. That was a terrible thing. I hope I get a report on that. And you can update me on what's happening with the status report on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you to my wrenches. Thank you, Andrew Steinmetz, who was here and provided us services of stopping people. And of course, the wordsmith and my close friends. And now it's time to do some personal stuff. Yep. Some personal stuff. Thank you. It was raining. That's why I was looking outside. But it was really rained last night. I bet you it rained 2 inches last night. All right. I'm Bing Permy from Michael Fazio and the little fella with the spoon, otherwise known as Baby Alive, and Digger One, because he is digging holes, digging. Every day digs a new hole. Every day, digging. Humping Permy, Digger one. Bye-bye. Oh, oh, Digger. The chains stay on, baby. Can't let him out of sight. Take those chains off. There'll be holes everywhere. Humping.